Hey everybody, it's Mega Mondays. I've already got the thing up for 201. I was getting some stuff prepared in the background. So how is everyone doing today? It looks like people have questions on B through H of 320. That's 474. Why are we in 474 if we should be in 320s? But we got some Mega Mondays. What is this? I think this is Wacky Wednesdays. We don't even have Wacky Wednesday on the screen. I said as the bumper. Let's hop over to the 320 and there's some code. Let's go to question number 7, which has a ton of parts. And let's start at the very beginning of it. A very good place to start. So, and I can't promise I'll always do every question for everything. Oh, this is where I made the mistake last time. Ha 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 ha. So I did make a mistake and a few people have messaged me. So, we need Mubot here. Overwhelmed? No, we're working away on it. And then we'll do number 6. Alan messaged me in the Discord, number 6. Alan, you got it. Let me get StreamBot going right here. Where's ChatBot? Here, let's get ChatBot because Brian already made an error. We broke the internet. We made some errors. But don't worry. If you do this assignment and you make a great grade on it, I would say most people do really super well in the class. Now, if you do an all right job on this assignment, not the end of the world. Like if you do an okay job. I've had people not turn in this assignment and do fine in the class. It's not advised to miss this assignment, but this is one of the tougher assignments all semester. So if you make it through this assignment, you've cleared a mountain in this class. But also you should notice that with this assignment, it's about knowing what resources you have. So one thing we want to point out is this assignment's not just about, okay, we're trying to throw you the hardest assignment in the world, but it's to get you kind of learning how to code and to have you using the resources in this class. This has historically been one of the tougher assignments. Everyone will tell you who's taken 320, they'll be like, don't worry, it gets easier. So lots of good news is to come. It gets easier, and I could show you some of the code here. I'll show you one of the codes here in a moment. Watch this. Let's say I were to go here to, I want to make a regression. So this is a code you haven't seen yet. But if I want to make a regression, a Mubot, we got started the error counter. God, that was my question about the levels in 7a. Yeah, I made the mistake. No, Mubot. What do you think about this Mubot? Mubot. What do you think about that Mubot? So I did make a mistake. Haha, hopefully everyone doesn't miss it. So let's redo the subset. And we redid the subset. And I was storing into the levels vector. You actually want to do drop levels on the variable itself. And then you can do table. And what I must have not looked at my output because you should always look at your output. And so that's it right there. No, you're welcome, Alex. Wait, I think Mubot has a quote for this. Mubot, you know something related to this, don't you? Mubot knows everything. Is this the right quote? It's going to be sad. No, wait. That's not the right quote. I think it's quote 9. It's quote 9 Mubot knows about what Brian does. Or maybe there is no quote 9. Mubot doesn't know. Oh, I think you can't use the quote thing so fast. Mubot, no cooldown on quotes, Mubot. Tell us what about quote 9. Oh, F in chat. Okay. Let's get serious here and we'll start moving through the rest of this. You know what's so funny? I think it's quote 7. Once I find the quote, it'll be quote 7. Watch this. It's like, do as Brian. Don't do what Brian does. Do what Brian says. Do not write everything Brian does when doing assignment. Do what Brian says, not what Brian does. Brian is usually right, but sometimes he's too right. This was one of those rare instances where Brian was completely and utterly wrong. It is quote 7. Yep. There we go. Mubot, now that we fixed the code, what do you think about that, Mubot? What do you think about that? And you know what? We got a new saying. We have a new saying that I added to the soundboard. I worked on the soundboard a little bit this weekend. We'll get started. We'll get real serious. But how do we code? I need people in the chat to tell me how we code as I start to look at this. I'm going to start doing what fraction the alumni data set are statistics majors. I'm going to start coding this right here. I'm going to take some questions. But how do we code? We know how we code. How do we code? How do we code? Love it, Thacker. How do we code? Everyone knows how we code here. But how do we code? How do we do our code? In what?
Little bits.
That's how we do it. Code in little bits. We got it on the soundboard now. Little bits. That's what we do. So let's see what fraction of these alumni are statistics majors. So the first thing we're going to code right here is we're going to code whether or not someone is a statistics major. How could I do a check to see if someone's a stats major? Like what could I write to see if someone's a stat major? Like to see if they are this. Like, just worry about that middle part to see if they are equal to this. I'm kind of saying it like equals to see if they're equals to something. Now, well, that actually will work. Michaela, great job. So let's look at two answers right here. So this will work. Let's go grab the sub. Make sure you're grabbing the subset, and let's go degree 1 major. This will work, and also this will work. Now, if you were checking multiple majors, hey, Mohammed, so good to see you. How you doing today? Can be used, not cab, can be used for multiple majors. And maybe one of these days, I was trying to double stream this to Twitch because by the end of next week, I think we can have the Twitch channel monetized, or and then we can do Amazon Prime. Woo! Can be used for just one. Okay, so if we were to check to see if someone was like a accounting, yeah, no, I can spell accounting. I'm gonna take a guess that I can spell accounting. If we were to check if someone is accounting or statistics, we could do the following, and this will check to see if someone is accounting or statistics. So the %IM% literally says, is someone's major contained in the vector accounting statistics? Now you might say, well, why can't we just do basically the same thing but use equals equals? So you'd say like, well, why can't we use this and use equals equals here? The way this code runs is a little different. This code will check to see if the first person is accounting, and then it'll check to see if the second person is statistics, and then it'll check to see if the third person is accounting, and it'll check to see if the fourth person is statistics, and then it'll check to see if the fifth person is what. Are you following along? It'll see if the fifth person is what. So it'll see if the fifth person is a what major. This code right here is written a certain way that it'll see if the first person's accounting, the second person's statistics, the third person's accounting, the fourth person's statistics, the fifth person is what. What would it check to see if the fifth person is equal to? Make a coffee on my lips. Starbucks coffee. Accounting. Miguel, yep. So it goes like a back and forth thing. So you don't want to use this because this code goes, like, we can literally check this right here. Watch this. Using just a vector. Yeah, let's grab this vector. Let's put this here. And then watch this. If we put a third element right here and do statistics, we should get true. We'll get a warning saying the vectors are a different length. So let's make it so there's no warning. This will be all trues right here. So this is going to be all trues. Graphical error. That's all. Oh, wait. Accounting. Oh, there we go. I did the order wrong. That's why we got the falses. And so this right here comes out true, 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 because it checks accounting, statistics, accounting, statistics. But watch this. Who can tell me what this code right here? Who can tell me what this code will output? Look at only this code right here and think about what it will output. So think about what this code will output right here. And think about the way it works. All falses. Yep, that's all falses because it checks, it's mismatch. So here's a really good note to take. When you do equals equals, the return is of the length of the equals equals will do a return of length. Oh, it's weird because it actually goes through and make sure it does return of length left. So you will get are all these equals, and then percent and percent. That might not always be accurate. So let me not put that note right there. Here's where the difference comes in, and the big important difference. That might be a little error. Sorry about that, everyone. What will this code on line 299 do that's different from this code? And think about this. Are these majors contained in the vector over there? Thank you, Michaela. So are these majors contained over here? This will produce all whats. And now the order doesn't matter. So you can see the difference between equals equals and percent. Because we're asking, are these majors contained over here? That'll return all trues because these majors are contained over here. And if we were to do this, we would just find the accounting majors, but then this code would be the same as the equals equals because it'll only be checking accounting with all of these. And so it'll check to see which are the accounting majors. So this is what's confusing. It took me a while. If you're checking to see if something is multiple values, you have to use percent and percent. If there's one value, percent and percent will work equally. Thank you, Mohammed. So this does work. This is perfectly fine to do. Now that we have a logical vector, and once again, please realize you don't need all those. You can comment them out. Once again, don't write everything I write. Write most of what I write. These are the statistics majors. So what fraction? What should we do to quickly find out what fraction? We code in little bits. So what should I put this inside of here to find fractions? What should I... Mohammed's, your last names are so similar. They start with the same two letters, and they are the same length. Oh, you guys, I love it. And you guys are usually in the same class with me, and so like, I know it kills me. It's like I see it, and I'm like, okay, wait, don't tell me. Mohammed, Alond, yeah, hopefully, Jan, please tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. We met before the semester. No. Alga Hamdi, we met before the semester started via Zoom, right? Alga Hamdi, we met before the semester started on Zoom, right? That's correct, right? We met, boom. Yep. And then Alahandia, Jan, we lived near each other in the fort, and I'd see as I drive by, and I'd be like, hey, what's up? Yep, the H is silent. Agamdi. Is it D, like D? How's it? I'll try to pronounce it phonetically correctly. You got it? Agamdi? Muhammad Al-Ghamdi. Got it? Al-Ghamdi. Got? Okay, good. As long as, yeah. I had a friend, Chu Yi, and people called him Chewy, and he always hated it. And so, like, he was like, I hate when people call me Chewy. My name's Chu Yi. And so I'd call him Chu Yi, because his name's Chu Yi, not Chewy. So he's like, my name's not Chewy. My name's Chu Yi. So, sorry. No, I really think it's important, especially, if people want, like, I don't care. It all depends. Like, people know I'm Brawl. Like, you see, I'm cool with that. Like, when it's like that, people know I'm Brawl. If that's from last week from 320, I'm Brawl. So here's the answer. Okay, let's do a sort subset. Brian, you got to get serious here, Brian. We need to code. Oh, what fun is coding? Coding's sad. We got new sound effects. This also let me test to see if we get demonetized for them. Okay, let's code. Let's get happy here. Define a data frame called sort sub. Okay, so someone in the chat, show me how to store into something called sort sub. Oh, no, it's just... Things are only weird if you haven't seen them. It's like, how do we know how to pronounce Schwarzenegger? It's just because we see his name everywhere and people say it all the time. Like, Schwarzenegger is a really weird name. Well, like, if we didn't know Schwarzenegger, it'd be like, what, Schwarzenegger? So it's like Schwarzenegger is... No one would know how to pronounce that if we didn't see his name everywhere. And that now that we do, it's like, oh, that's an easy name to pronounce. So the more we see it, the more we know it. You bet. We're going to store sort sub right into here. We're going to store coding in our little bits. And so continuing on, we will have right here, print the screen rows 23 through 28. Define a data frame called sort sub as a result of the resulting, the largest. Okay, so we need to sort it. Now, I'm going to comment this out for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to sort the data frame. Now, this one's really tricky. I'm glad we're doing this one because we need to go here and use a function we don't usually use. And this one always tricked me up. Like, I was like, I don't understand how to use it. We're going to do order right here. And we're going to find the order of the vector of people's donations. So this is the little bits we code in. I'm overusing that sound effect now. We're going to go here and find the order. So when you look at this person right here, 38, let's just take a look at them. Let's go to person number 697, and let's look at them. Oh, it's a singular vector. So they donated $1,000. Do we have someone higher? 626. They donated $3,000. Surely there's people who donated. This is a lifetime gift to UT. $74. $200. Am I looking at this correctly? It should be sorting it. And are these the lowest? Oh, is everyone who donated 0? I know it'll work, but... So what we can do here, this one's a pretty... I thought just do it right here. It did the same thing. Let me copy that, Michaela. Let me copy what Michaela has here. Thank you, Michaela. Everyone who's here, you get 100 extra points for the week, going for your 500. So we have right here, that's got it right there. Yeah, it's probably just fine. I think you've done it, Michaela. Great job. And this is another way, a much more difficult way. Yay, the harder way to do it. Whoops. This right here, if you get this, I could have also appended the code. So what this does, this actually orders the data frame by itself. Actually, Michaela, I think there might be a problem. So Michaela, I'm glad you're here because I want you to look at the differences right here, and maybe you've got additional code. So let's compare codes. Michaela, you get an additional 100 for the week. So, and did I not reply to, Mohammed, you were asking me about the points, and that's one part of your email I think I missed because also I'm having flashbacks to emails this morning. You can get a max of 500 a week, and I just toss them out. So it's a little bit of the honor system. You're like, I think I got it. Like, it's meant to be fun. Don't take it too seriously. Don't be like, I got 500 and I answered one question. It's if you're here, you're interacting, you're supposed to get your 500 a week. So everyone's supposed to get it if they're here, if they're interacting. I try to be as generous as possible. That's why you see me giving out points all the time. So, what we're doing right now is what's meant to happen. We're meant to be interacting throughout this right here. Yeah, Alan knows what we're talking about. So if you look at this code right here, and Poggers, totally is it. Oh, it was awesome. Some Twitch talk right there. I love it. I love it. Alan, I was going to try to stream this also to Twitch, and then it wouldn't let me do it because I'd already made the event. So we have the vector right here. Then I did storing it in sort sub. Can you touch on number 6? Yeah, I think we're doing number 6 right now. Oh no, this is number 7. We'll do number 6 next because I think Alan also wanted that. I almost put oof on here. Wait, did I? No, I still had the alert. Do we need to put oof on here, Alan? Put your rest of your code right here. Then I did sort sub of the elements of this. I think that won't work, Michaela. Take a look at this code right here, and I'll drop it in the chat for everyone. So if you're coding along, sort sub. Okay, let me see. Thank you very much. Let's grab the code and let's take a look at it and let's talk about it. When you code, you want to read it as a sentence, decrease equal true. Maybe it works. Oh, and then this is the next line. Okay, cool. You're taking and you're storing into sort sub. I think it's only the vector. Okay. So let's take a look at, you basically have it. I'm going to call this sort sub 2. And then we go here and 23 through 28. Wrong dimensions because yeah. Okay. Is it not sort? Oh, we don't have decreasing. There we go. There we go. Up. Don't take that code. Don't take that code. Can I remove that code? It's not the end of the world. You just lose all your points now. 8. I'm just kidding. Don't worry. 8. That's fine. I don't mind. So everyone's going to put in 550. Now everyone's going to be like, he doesn't mind? I'll put in 550. You can subtract 50 if you want. Not the end of the world. So you see, once again, we see a classic quote 7 right here. A classic quote 7 if we ever saw one. There we go. Let's take a look at the output here. And then let's take a look at the output as a classic. Okay. So this helps confirm kind of what both codes are doing. So let's talk about the difference between order and sort. So you know in Excel, when you click like the top of a column and you sort the column and it sorts everything else with it, you would think that function would be called sort, but that's the order function. And what space, look at this before the comma, we're ordering the whats of this data frame. We are ordering the whats of this data frame. So the whats of this data frame are being ordered since this is the blank space. It's grabbing everything inside of here, and the whats space, think of a multi-dimensional space, like this space or this space. So you got this space or this space. In this multidimensional space, we're saying go to the sub data frame and order the what's of it. The code I'm highlighting is in the what's space of it. It's this space, it's not this space. The rows, Michaela, you're right. This is ordering the rows. So, like, I still, for some reason, I don't get why it just knows how to do it when I do it. I hate like not knowing every little thing about the code. Nice job, Alex. 100 points, Alex. Michaela, an 8 right here. Maybe you'll get all of them today, but keep showing up, keep working hard, keep practicing. So it's ordering the row space of this, and all the columns are being ordered. So that's how we get this sort sub right here. And then in the row space right here, I'm only returning the 23 through 28. And so, Michaela, definitely copy what we have here. What you're doing is accurate if we said we just want the 23rd through 28 donations. But if we want to sort the data frame, we have to, interestingly enough, not use the sort, but use the order, because sort usually used for vectors, and to order a data frame, you use order. So kind of like, although it says sort, like take that word out of your head and just use order a data frame from the lowest to largest. And I forgot to do decreasing goes true. So that's got it. That's got the code. We've got the code. We've got the knowledge. We can do this. And let's go right here. There is one alumnus who has donated exactly this amount. What do you think we're gonna, like, just put something before this? Like, put something before this right here. What do you think we're gonna put before this to see if someone has donated this amount? Everyone knows in the chat. What's that? Yeah, tell me that code right there. And yeah, Muhammad, you know, 100 points for Muhammad right there. Boom, we know that. Now we have to say, is where, you know, what person is that? Let's find the, we're just going to grab this code right here, because if we can copy, why not? Well, darn. Okay, let's find them. Oh, there they are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this whole thing, and then I'm going to add a comment. This is going to be what I'm going to turn in. I'm going to print this whole thing, and then I'm going to have a comment. I do want to point this out here. I'm doing it as a joke, too. The person is the true, sure, why not, in the vector below. Okay, so let's go here to knit to word. Error on line 90. Oh no, we can't knit right now. What's the error on line 90? What error did I make? I'm doing a bad idea. Sure, you know what we can do? We can go to this chunk. This is a bad idea, but I'm going to go to output. Show nothing, don't run code. Cool. You can make it so chunks don't run. That's also a tip right here, but you can make it so a chunk does not run. And so that chunk right here will not evaluate. And you notice my document does look to be knitting now. So I clicked the scroll wheel. Ooh, that's not good output either. Whoa, what did we do? Do not turn this in. This is a horrible, if you turned this in, you might. Yeah, you'd get a 0. Do not turn this in. Whatever you do, if you see this looks like your assignment, you have made some big mistakes right here. This is not a assignment you should turn in. I did this on purpose. Be very careful with what I code. Most assignments are going to be 5 through 20 pages. I mean, there might be one that's 4, there might be one that's 22, but most assignments, depending on output, are going to be 5 through 20 pages. If you see that you have, like I do, 98 pages, 98 pages, you've done something incorrect. So what we want to do is we want to look at our output. I'm going to go quickly here to number 7. Where's number 7? Oh, I think it's down here. So I didn't label my chunks. I can label my chunk 7D, and now you notice it's chunk 7D. So with this one alumnus right here, how can I find out which one they are? How can I find out which one they are? Quote 7, Alan, quote 7. How can I find out which one they are? I think you were looking for quote 7. The which function. And so the which, what which does is it returns, you have to just think, what is this code going to do? It's going to tell me anytime something is true and tell me the position. So 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 569, and we should see here 569. So what you want to do, oh, F in the chat, yeah. A lot of F's in the chat right here. What you want to do is be able to tell, like, know the answer before your code does it. And it helps you when you can't actually figure out the answer. Like if you know what the code is going to do and you know the answer it's going to produce, then you'll be able to do it with bigger things where you don't know the answer. Like I know this is going to tell me the positions of all the things that meet the conditions. The positions of the things that meet the conditions. That was totally, that 98 page output was definitely F in the chat. Which rows? Oh, we have a multiple equals right here. So now we've got a vector of numbers. What's that, little bits? That's going to get me, we're just overusing little bits right here. But what is it that is going to get me the vector glued together? How can I glue together these things in a vector? How can I glue together those things into a vector? So we have to know, how do we put these things? Let's just call this vector right here, which is what I call vector sometimes. Alex, 100 points right there. Boom, we have a vector. So now I want to see more little bits. How do we see if something is contained in that? How do we see maybe if these things are contained over there? How many written responses will we use? In the instructions it says, oh yeah, and there's not even the Kroger data. I should delete that. Oops. We made this assignment shorter and then we didn't change the instructions at the start. Anytime you feel you need to type out a quick response, you could. It doesn't hurt. Most people will be fine typing very little. If you have a specific one you want me to look at, I can, but there's not that many written responses. On the Kroger ones there would be, but we took those out because it's a lot on this assignment already. We made it shorter this year. Yeah, I think so. You could, Michaela, I think that will work. Let me grab Michaela's code right here. I think let's check. Here's this. And here is, so Michaela, another 100 points. You know what I really like? You have to quote Dr. Steve, you got to wrestle with the code. You got to wrestle with it. Oh, we need to, that's an oof right there, if ever there was an oof. There we go. Same answer. It does work to use all the ors, and so she's asking which ones are this or this or this. And so if you look at the inner portion of this, everything inside this which here just returns a logical vector. So great. Yeah, no, and you're right. Great job, Michaela, because you just have to, it's good to figure out 2 ways to do it and then see the other way and be like, oh, that also works too. If it works, it works. That's my policy. Code works, you get the grade you get. And so this right here is a logical vector. And so you could even make it shorter and you could say logical test if you want. And then you could go here and put this inside of here. And this is what I was kind of going for with this. So you're seeing about 10 ways to code it right now. And both of these do the same thing. So all we're doing, and I could even do the logical test on that which, but inside of a which, you must get what's and what's is inside of a which. Inside of a which, you must get what's and what's is. Like what goes inside of the which function. Inside of a which, you must be returning blanks or blanks. And you can take a quick look right here. That's the answer. And that's the answer. Inside of a which, the thing inside of it must be a vector of these and theses. What goes inside of a which? Which always has inside of it blanks and blankses. It's on my screen right now. I bet Mubot knows. Mubot, what goes inside of trues and falses? I mean, what goes? Yeah, that's a good F. Yeah, true, and also true is Mubot. You should learn that. Boom, trues and falses right there. So, Mubot's doing well today. One of these days we're gonna make a real Mubot, and he's gonna be in my office. That was our goal last semester. We talked about the robot Brian, but it might be just called Mubot. I'll be Mubot. Oh gosh, I think they're like uploading me to Mubot or something. Create a column called log lifetime gift to UT, which is the log base 10. Who can tell me Brawlblot? It needs to have alternative names. Alan, if you know anyone who knows robotics, see, you can do these things. Like we could make these things. I literally say just never stop dreaming, never stop coming up with ideas, because this whole thing right here, I came up with this idea. This whole streaming thing, like I should just do it like people do it on Twitch. This started in about November 2018. I could show you our original concept video, which is unlisted on YouTube. We have an original concept video that we uploaded of like what it looked like. Maybe I'll play that as like a secret thing. Would you guys like if I played the original concept video here towards the end of this? We'll do question 6 maybe, then maybe I'll play for the first time ever the original concept video of this. Yeah, you guys can see, because we started this in, I think it's, yeah, because then we came back, and I'm in my P coat, P code here? I don't think I have my P code, so I didn't bring enough winter clothes. So we'll play the original concept video towards the end of this, but it started off as an idea. We got a grant for it, and the grant went through the summer, and then we got another grant this summer to update something else. But this was all done off of we did it like for $5,000 to $10,000. I mean, I know that's a lot of money, but I mean, when you think about education and everything, the cost of education and stuff is rather low. Like, so I'm really glad with what we've done and what we've gotten. I mean, there's a lot more. If you go to LinkedIn, for those who want, let me do this real quick, and then we'll talk more serious here on this last one. If you want, you can add me on LinkedIn. Where's my profile? View my profile. I am like the 6 millionth Brian Stevens. Oh, in spring 2019? Oh, yeah. That should bring you to my LinkedIn right there. Yeah, Mohammed, I think you're right. Yeah, we were coming up with the idea then, and we were like, okay, we're going to stream this class live on YouTube, and we're going to have all these things, and we've updated the technology. I used to have a lavalier mic on me, but we've done a lot. We'll look at this. We got this. We're just going to take a log of a vector. Well, what vector do I want? The fastest friends. I love it. And I really like our community on here. I like, students are, this is, I think people, Muhammad, both Muhammads are in my class in that 201 section. Here, I'll code this one while I talk, and I'll explain what the code does. I'm going to go log. There's 2 ways to do this one. I'll show you the 2 ways. Both Muhammads were in my class, but Michael was in that class. Cameron was in that class, and a bunch of other people. I mean, tons of people in that class. But everybody was pretty much friends with everybody. And, that's our goal is like, we're all just people, and we should, get to know each other and learn about each other. And I think that's, I'm not trying to be sappy, but I really I'm not trying to be sappy. It's just like, I don't know, you get to know people in the world's a much smaller place. So that's all I gotta say about that. So, 3 different codes here. 2 out of the 3 codes work. Why don't we bet some points here? We're having fun during these office hours. Let's go to betting, and we're betting on which codes work. So the answers are either 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or 1 and 3. Which lines of code work? Be very careful. You can bet them a maximum of 100 points of the current points you have. So Mubot's wondering which of these codes work. So which of these codes work on the screen right now? Just so you can see, be very careful. You only get 1 bet. You could lose points on this. Don't lose your points. And these are not the option numbers. Be careful. The option numbers are, this is 0. That's super confusing, right? This is option 1. Oh, no, these are not options. It's the options. You have to read what the options are. Careful. Okay, so option 0 is these 2 lines. Option 1 is these 2 lines. And option 3 is these 2 lines. Any betters on this before I explain? Only 2 of these lines of code return what we want to return. And here's a hint. Look at that. The last number is 6.8. The last number there is that, and the last number there is that. So it kind of gives it away if you want to throw in a quick better. Oh, no. Wait, is that the right answer? Sorry, I think I made this super confusing, Michaela. Michaela, have another 100 points. You know what, Michaela, since you're the only one who voted, let me stop the voting real quick. Since you are the only one who voted, you're right, Michaela, you won. There we go. Don't worry though. So I didn't want you to lose points on it because you're the only one who voted. This one right here does not do log base 10. What does log do the base of if we don't specify a base? If we do not specify the base, you're welcome. If we don't specify the base, what does it do the base of? What base does it use if we don't specify a base? So if there's no base specified, oh yeah, and this is the wrong one. I should have just asked which one of these is the wrong one. I hate that starts at 0. I wish it indexed at 1 because there's option 0, option 1, and option 2. No, it won't do base 10 to start. It will do base of E. So does everyone see the last number here is 6.8? So it does base E. So the base it uses to start, if you don't specify anything, is base E. So we don't want to do this right here because this is base E. Does that make sense? If we do not put in a second argument, which is the base, it'll do log base E. So we want to use Natural log, exactly, Michaela. Yeah. So this does natural log, which is base E. It's the same thing as ln. And so we could put, or not basically, same thing as natural log. There is no ln function in R. And I always like showing how easy it is to make functions if you want. So if we go here to function, we could code in ln as a function, and it could just take object x right here and take the log of x. And so now if you really wanted, you could do the natural log of something like 10, and now that's the natural log. So if you know how to make functions, you could write your own natural log function, and you do not do these things I just did right here. There's no reason to code the natural log function right now, but we coded a function called ln, which just takes object x, and so it then takes the log base of e of it, because that's the base log. So I've made a natural log function here by creating that inside of R. So it's just cool if you, like, it's fun if you know these things to then be like, oh, I could just make that function if I want it. I could call this natural log Brian, and now this function will be called natural log Brian, or I've created a natural log Brian function. It's in the global environment, and it just takes the natural log. So enough about those codes, more about your codes, and we can find the, so blah, 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 find the 75th percentile of these values and then unlog it. Okay, we're coding in our little bits right here. Let's remove the code we don't need so no one gets confused and turns in those things. Let's use this one right here, the log base 10 function, and then we're going to find quantile, and we're going to put this in here, and we can get all of these quantiles. This works right here. Let's do it this way today. With all of these elements right here, what element do I want on this list? I've got one, two, what element do I want? What element does the thing tell me to do? What element do I want? And how do I get elements? Because now I'm coding in those little bits. What element do I want, and how do I get that element? I do want the 75th percentile, and there's another way of doing it right here. I could do it that way. So I could do it this way, and that's probably the best way. I could also do it, so this is an excellent way. That's way number one, and probably the way I'd do it. And then way number two is to say first, second, third, fourth, and to go here and do this. So if you notice, we get the same answer on both of these because that's the fourth element of that return, and it helps us kind of remember how to choose elements out of a list. When you have here a vector, you can then go beside it and do square brackets and choose something. I'm saying go to the fourth position, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just seeing it repeatedly is how we learn how to code. Like, okay, I want the fourth position. I want that fourth element, square brackets, and then we do it. Square brackets are for positions, but I'd probably just do it this way because this says I only want the 75th percentile of this object. This right here, I know it looks like a lot, but this might as well be object X. It's just saying take the quantiles of this and only return the 75th percentile. So that's all we have going on right there. There we go, undo. And let's see, now it wants us to unlog it. Well, to unlog something, if it's, I'll explain it. I don't want to just tell you, I want to explain it. Let's take the log 10 of 1,000. What is log 10 of 1,000? What is log 10 of 1,000? What is log 10 of 1,000? You might know. So the way log 10 reads is what power would you have to raise 10 to get 1,000? So good question here. Logs are this tricky thing that's like, what does a log mean? The log base is you're saying this raised to this power would equal this number. It's like you have to read it almost in reverse. It's what do you raise 10 to get 1,000? So if you answer that question, what do you raise 10 to get 1,000? What would you raise 10 to get 1,000? What value would you raise 10 to get 1,000? You'd raise it to, for 100 points in the chat, who knows, it's Mega Mondays. You'd raise it to, I might give the answer away, 3. You'd raise it to 3. So the log base 10 of 1,000 is 3, but now that this has been log base 10, how do we turn 3 back into 1,000? So we know we want this to equal 1,000. Should equal 1,000. So whatever we do right here needs to equal 1,000. We would take, what would we do to this to make it equal to 1,000? We have 3 and 10 to work with right now. So what would we do with 3 and 10 to make it equal to 1,000? Nice job, Michaela, right there. Hopefully I'm on super quick latency. Actually, go watch my video and snap and see how long it takes. Might do a latency check. So what would we do with 3 and 10 to get 1,000? We do 10 raised to 3. So if you look at this right here, oh no, it's all right, it's all right. I might do the latency checker after this question. Does that look like an amount that someone might donate? Like $1,892. That does right there. So this unlogs it. So this is how to unlog base 10. So that's how to unlog base 10. And whatever this is the value of X. And so this is X logged, like that's the logged value. And then that is how to unlog it. So you notice we get 1,000. Notice how this starts at 1,000, we log it, and then we unlog the value by doing 10 raised to it. And then we get the original value obtains to obtain original value. So this right here is the X right here. This is the logging of it. And then we have the original value. And that's got it. That's got this one done. And don't include this extra stuff down here. I'm going to bulk comment it out. I use Control-Shift-C right there, or Command-Shift-C on a Mac or a PC. And yep, 5D. Oh, did we do 5D? Oh, 5D. Let's hop to 5D, and I think some question 6 is next. Oh yeah, the integrity stuff, right? The integrity. So the best way to deal with the integrity is to look at the vector itself. Question 2. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we got 2 and 6. We got all that stuff. Let's do it. I'm just going to do that. Question, this one right here. Oh, there's nothing there. Let's run all code above. Now it exists. Okay, make sure you have, if you try to code this as is, it won't work, so you might need to look back on some other videos just to see how I got to here. But look at this vector right here. What do you notice odd about this? This is the question we would ask the people of, what fraternity or sorority are you in? So if I ask people, what fraternity or sorority are you in, what do you notice odd about this? What do you notice about us asking a person? Like this is you walk up to somebody and you say, hey, what fraternity or sorority are you in? And they say, students are enrolled in multiple Greek organizations. Exactly. So we see like repeats of the same thing. Like this is one person right here. It's not that there's 4 people in this. This is, yep, it violates like not allowed to do that. Like you're not allowed to be in like, there's like phi beta sigma and phi gamma delta. So there's, how is this being recorded? It's not really recorded properly. And this is one person that responded this, at least one person we should say. So we could even look at how many people have these crazy responses by going here and doing a table of it. And you can see the people with the wacky responses. There's someone, maybe 3 of them, but it gets so crazy it kind of destroys the screen. So there's people with, I don't know why it's recorded multiple times. And so one of the good things I think you can do, here's a tip for this one, is you could point one of these out. Like you see 46 is really weird. There are people, at least one person, who responded with all those levels. I wouldn't print the whole levels vector to the screen. I would just show a little bit of it. And I'd talk about this because this is what people are responding. Like to make this clear, let's look at the levels vector for alumni, $ gender code. So people responded to gender code with F, M, or U. That's not saying that one person responded F, one person responded M, and one person responded U. The levels are the possible responses. Like, tell me levels of McDonald's menu. Like, when we look at like sales for McDonald's, what would be the levels for the item sales for McDonald's? For some reason, I want McDonald's right now. I haven't had McDonald's in maybe a year. Oh gosh, 2020. What are the levels of the McDonald's menu? Think about what levels means. It doesn't mean like one person orders that thing. It just means all the possible entries in it. So when you think about levels, it's like, okay, it could be like, what's it? McDouble, McChicken, large fry, small fry, medium fry. And we're not going to see repeats of it. It just would record what people can order, the different levels. It'd be every menu item. And then they wouldn't repeat. Then we could make a table. Does that make sense, Mohammed? That the levels vector are all the possible answers. If we want to get a table of this same thing, it's going to show us how many are in each one. So the levels vector just shows you all the possible ones, and then a table gives you the counts of the observations. So the levels vector is just like, the only possible answers to this are F, M, and U for what people entered. So does that make sense? The difference between the levels vector and like what table gives you? Table gives you the counts of the observations in each level, and levels just tells you all the possible answers. It won't repeat them. It will just say like, this is an answer someone could give. And what do we see? An answer someone could give. And this is one answer. Someone could give phi gamma delta, phi gamma delta, phi gamma delta. So that doesn't make sense how that is like an answer that someone would give. Like, what fraternity are you in? I walk up and you say phi gamma delta. And I'm like, cool. And you're like, phi gamma delta, phi gamma delta, phi gamma delta. And I'm like, okay, why did you tell me that 3 times? So hopefully that helps elucidate why this vector looks so weird. And what was it? Question two, using the quick menu. Question 2, awesome sequence stuff right here. Look over a little question 2 right here with the sequences, and then we'll do some question 6, because I think that was also asked. So when we look at this right here, we need to print up our own questions. I've got a random ID right here. Let's just type in ID number 1. I am student number 1. Let's print these questions to the screen right here, and let's check it out. How many bars would a histogram have? A histogram could have bars. From its left edge starting at 10 and its right edge going to 75 with 0.5 wide. Now your questions might be different from this. What I'm going to do right here is I might have to disappear for a moment, or other Brian could take over. Okay, now that other Brian's here, he's going to work on it. Brawl's here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a code right here to help make this easier to understand. I would suggest not writing this code while I do this. So don't write out this code I'm about to write. I'm going to write out hist going from 1 to 100. And now I want you to view this over here on this side. So this is a histogram right here going from 1 to 100. Well, the number's 1 to 100. The bars on this histogram start where? In the chat, the bars on this histogram start where and go to where, and the bars go by how much. So the bars start somewhere, they go to somewhere else. So the bars start somewhere. So it's like it's a sequence. It starts where? So it's from this. Where do the bars start? It starts somewhere. I can't tell. Can't read it. I'm blind. I mean, I am blind, but 0. Yep. From 0 to 100 by 5. Now, here's the thing. Oops. There would have been an error. And we're also missing an equals. I didn't make the errors. I didn't hit Command at Control Enter. So the thing right now is we're going to get an answer to this. And with this answer, the answer is going to be wrong. Because, there we go, more microphone. This is going to give one too many numbers. If you were to count up the bars, I want us to think how we'd count up the bars. And here, I'm going to hop over to the other side now. When you count up these bars, there we go. When you count up these bars, you would start counting here like bar number 1, bar number 2, bar number 3, bar number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 bars. You can count them in twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And so there's 10 bars right here on this histogram. When you do the sequence, it actually starts with the 0 number. So if you see how long this sequence is, this sequence right here has a length of 11. So what could we do to our sequence right here? You can see it on the other answer. What could we do on our sequence to get a sequence that has the right length to it? What could we do on our sequence to get a sequence that has the right length of it? What could we do? And the answer is -1. So let's go here and do a -1, and we will have the right answer. And from here, 8, does it... Haley's got a question. Hey, Brian, I'm a little behind, but I was just watching. Could you go to question 7B? Yeah. Haley, you can actually rewind the video live. Haley, if you're stuck on it still, it might email me, because we're going to try to do some question 6 also. But if you want, you can actually rewind this video live. And big thank you if anyone puts in timestamps. But I think, is it 7B you said? Is it this one? That kind of shows it. Also try to also watch it. Is it this one? Here, I'll pause it. You can pause, you can rewind live, and I kind of go through and I explain what's going on right here. Haley, I bet, Haley, that you might need to change this code right here. I made a mistake in a previous video. Haley, use this code right here. After running it, I think I made a mistake in a previous video, which I noticed today, because people weren't getting right answers. And so that code should fix it up. It previously said levels. So that probably is from code I wrote that broke your code. Can you do 3 if you have time for 6? Yeah, we can try to do that. And so hopefully 8, that helps out those questions. And I have it, yeah, Haley, and email me, ask. Yeah, I'm going to try to do sim number 6 here, which we haven't done yet. And thank you everyone for showing up. Really great office hours today. This is what I like. I like us just doing as many questions. I try to stay on track. I try to stay focused, but you know, I'm Brian. I'm Brawl. Brawl can't stay on track. Have I already done? Okay, wait. Let's start on number 6 again. Rename the gender code column to be gender. Okay, so there's a few ways to do this. There's the easy way and the hard way. Let's do the hard way. So the hard way is, first we're going to look at the column names. So column names right here of the alumni data frame. So here's the column names. Now I want to search for the one that's called gender code right here. And how are we coding? Little bits. So do we already finish number 2? I'll go back to here after this one, 8. You got it. We'll do a few more of those. I talked about the first one for number 2, and I kind of alluded to the answer, and then I'll go back and do it. I don't have this one in video yet. So which one do you want to see for 8? Yeah, awesome. I'll probably go a little bit over. I'll teach still a little bit later. We'll see how we do on time. We got this. Okay, so I want you to think what this is doing right here. These are all the column names, right? So these are the column names. And then when I run the next line of code, it's seeing if the column names are equal to a certain thing. It's seeing if they're equal to this. Now, if I want to find out which column it is, what do I put that inside of? If I want to find out which column it is, I'm going to take all of this code right here, which is a logical thing, and I want to find out which one does this apply to. So I'm going to be like, okay, which column is that is equal to this? So I'm going to take all of this. Close. That's basically it. We need the thing in the bracket. Actually, you know what? Michaela, another 100 points. I think you're right. I think this will work. No, we want to go column names. I think this will work. Yep, that works. Michaela, great job. That does work, I think. This won't produce anything now if I run this because we already renamed it. And so yep, we didn't need to put the which around it. I was going to put it around a which, but since it's trues and falses, you can put trues and falses in. You say, Brian, it's all falses. Well, that's because I just renamed it. It was the first column. We could have put it inside of a which, but I went back to the column names vector, and this is just going to find the position that is this name. So it's going within the column names vector of alumni, which is all the names of the columns, just like Excel column names. And then we're saying find the one that is equal to this, and this returns trues and falses, and there was a true at the start, and then this only relabels it. So that's the easiest way to do it, and the right way. I mean, that's not the, excuse me, that's the hard way to do it in the right way. But this also works right here. I wouldn't suggest this. Don't do this. If you're watching this video, don't do it. So found the mute button this time. There we go. Okay. Thank you very much, Alan. Mute button. Mute button's a good thing. Okay. Eyes are blurring. Okay. So this way right here, if you know it, it's just you could accidentally rename stuff you don't want to name. And if I were to do something like this, I'd rename the wrong column. This is the safe way and the best way. This is the quick way and can sometimes cause issues. It won't destroy anything because right now alumni has that name. So if I were to call this, notice how this changes. Does everyone see how I'm changing? Just so you can watch as I rename the first thing of the column names. And that's what that's doing right there. So I'm going to the column names vector, which is a vector of names that make up the data frame names. What do I mean by that? Up here at the top, this is the column names vector. So the column names vector can be viewed by highlighting this, and it also has positions. So that's the first position right there. And just don't do all that wackiness I did. I was just showing that this is literally changing this right here. If you make an error though, fine, we'll make an error. There we go. Don't do that. That's an error. You can't undo that. I mean, I guess it was called zip code. Sure, now it's called zip code again, or something close enough to it. But that's what this code is doing. This is the not safe way of doing it. This is the safe way because this will find the thing that is gender code and rename it. and that code actually did nothing right now. Notice how we even called it capital gender right there, and that code did nothing. So what I could do, could call find the code that's gender and rename it G1 or something like that, and it finds that. Now it actually have to find G1 and rename it gender. So let me make sure no one looks at this wacky code at the end. There we go. Okay, cool. Now that we got it, this is way number 2 of doing it. Please always don't just write down what I write down. Try to take it in. Try to be like, okay, here's the steps. And let's see. Rename its levels to be this. Okay, so we need to call the levels function right here. The levels function is how we look at levels, and we're going to look at the levels of gender, and we want to rename those. So guess what? This is a vector. Who can type how we store into a vector? Like, I'm going to overwrite what's in that with another vector. So does that make sense? I'm going to store into that. Who's got the little bits right now to store into that? How do we store into that? You got it right there, Michaela. We store into it, and then we need to create a vector, once again with little bits. Let's do this right here. We're going to create a vector, and then we're going to cheat. We're just going to grab this right here so we don't have to type it out. We're going to drop that right there. We're going to do this, and we got it. That's done it. Does it want a table now at the end? Print a frequency table. So a frequency table, that's just a table. Just go here, alumni, $gender, and there we go. That is the frequency table that's got it, and that should do it for that question. I think there was some question 2, finish question 2. Let's go back to finish question 2. Let me look at my questions again. What is the 608th element of a sequence that starts at this in increments of this? So this one does not tell you what it goes to, but you'll be all right as long as the sequence is long enough. So with question B right here, we could make it 608 elements long. So how can I make a sequence 608 elements long? How do you look at those questions? Oh yes, make sure to print your questions right here. So you'll enter your student ID, and then you'll print the questions, and you'll get your unique questions for you. So there'll be your, does that make sense right there, 8? This will be how you'll get your unique questions, as long as that makes sense right there. And I think, let me look at Google Calendar real quick, because I think we're good until, I think 4:30 your guys' time. All of a sudden I'm teaching another class, and I'm like, oh no. 4:30, yeah, we're good. We are good. We got a premiere tonight. If you want, put in your student ID, yep. And so, and if you want, we have a premiere tonight, so swing by the premiere at 6 your time, I think. You're welcome. So do I need to put, it'll do the same either way. The way the randomness works in R is you get the same. You see it says 3.2.3, 608. So 3.2.3, 6.8, or 608. So you get the same answer either way. Is this making sense right here, 8? Is this all making sense, I think? Hopefully. Hopefully it's all making sense. And so now, awesome. Great questions. Yeah, this is, I really like that we can just, you can come on here and ask questions. Other people get to see the help. And remember what? Then we'll show the video here at the end. Let's see. So with this right here, let's look at this question. We are going to write a sequence, and it's going to start, so that's from equals 3.2. Spacing does not matter yet. Love it, Alan. 100 points, Alan, and 8 for being here. So from 3.2, and we can say then by equals 0.3, and then we need one last argument to make sure we have at least 608 elements. And we'll actually get exactly 608. So what's the last argument I could put in here to make sure we have a kind of, it's this long, it's 608 long, if you get what I'm saying. It's 608 long, but not long, but what is the, something else starts with an L also. So we want something that's 608 long. So what is the argument I could put in here? And arguments are additional commands, or what you're telling it to do. When you're like, okay, I want you to start at this, I want you to go by this, and I want it to be at least, I want it to be this long. Not at least, but it'll be exactly this long. So what would we put here to get a certain length of a sequence? Yep, Michaela, right? Length. It's actually length out, but apparently it does a partial match. I like typing length, and then we'll do 608. So we actually have to name this argument because it won't choose the right one. And I might have done it a different way down here. So if you notice, I've done it 2 separate ways right here, and this is a different question, but I'll show you the 2 separate ways right here. So here's 2 completely different ways of doing this. let's do it this way, and let's do it this way. This will give the same answer right here. And so this is two ways of doing question B. We make one that starts from this to this and goes by this. You notice I'm calling the arguments, and these are actually in different orders. So I'm saying go, no, don't worry, 100 points, 8. Keep answering, just be like, the more you practice, the more you get it wrong, the more you get it right. I can't tell you how much if you were to count up how many times I've made mistakes with code, no one will beat me because I've been coding longer, so I've made more mistakes. So I'm proud of that. So, so we have right here, we're going from this to this by this, and this will make sure we have enough elements. I could technically just go to 200, and you notice now the 608th element is that. But this code right here goes from this by this, and then has this many elements in the sequence. When we say length, it makes sure that it goes to that element. So there's an additional way of doing this, is you could just go tail, and you could get just the last element of the tail of it. So this is the last element. Did I get everything right? Oh no, that's not closed. There's the last element of the tail, and that is not the correct thing because it prints 6 things. I thought that would do that. And so we need to go here to tail 1, and technically we don't need this anymore. There we go. So because it's only returning 1 return, tail by default returns 6 elements, and I guess it puts them in the way the tail would appear. I guess you could sort it to get the last one, but this is the very tail of the vector, and you can see this up here in this output. So tail is a function that gets you the last so many elements of a vector. By default, tail gets you the last 6, but then the second argument is how many of those elements do you want? So you could get just the last element. And so this is the last element of a sequence going from 3.2 by 0.3 with 608 elements. So the last element would be the 608th element. So all of these codes right here are doing the exact same thing. Once again, showing that there's near infinite ways to get the right answer on this. But I mean, you got to find one of them. It's like wouldn't someone say if there's near infinite ways, we would eventually find it if we just keep coding? But yeah, but then how would you know which one it is? Let's do question 3 here. And I think we did 6. And wait, was it 3? And then we did, so I think everything. And then the last one here, let's look at the last one. What was the last question? Print question. Consider a sequence that starts at -2 and ends at this, which has this many elements. How many elements are greater than this? So let's first make the sequence right here. We're going to go right here. If we wanted to have a certain amount of elements, how could we give it, like, let's put this inside of sequence. The -2 is going to be the what 8. The -2 is going to be the what of this. So the -2 is the what argument. You can read it down there at the bottom too. I'm just kind of cleaning it up as we do this. The -2 needs to be the what argument. You're welcome, 8. What would be the -2? It starts at that. So what argument is the -2 going to be? The -2 is going to be it's going to be the first argument, and it actually works. Technically, this right here works either way, and so that is correct. It's going to be the from argument. So from this, and then this needs to be the to this, and then this will be the only one we can't use the default ordering for. What needs to be this? This needs to have 321 elements in the sequence. So the 321 needs to be the what length. Yep. And it also works as length out because once again, it does a partial match. So the real argument's length out. I call it length all the time. Notice how we get the same thing here, but it does a partial match. Which actually, it works with that also. Could we just do L? Whoa. I wouldn't do L because then people are like, what's argument L? But it does a partial match on it. I think it makes more sense to call it length, but you could call it length dot. Notice, so I just learned something new here that you can type just part of it and it does a partial match on it. So I prefer to just call it length, but I know that blew my mind that just using L works because it searches for an argument and it matches it and says, well, I guess they meant this. So that's where I learned something new. There you go. And so do I have a model saved in here? Okay, I want to see something. Cool. I don't even know what model this is. Yeah, see, argument 2 matches multiple formal arguments. I'm trying to use new data. Okay, good. I can use new, and that'll work. The real thing here is new data, and I don't know. It's one thing. Well, apparently works for more functions, the partial match thing. So I was checking that out right there. So that was using predictions, using the argument new data, and that's always one where I have a problem with it. It doesn't autocomplete, and I hate that. So kind of seeing what happens there. We want certain things that are larger than a certain amount. Let's go back and get the things that are larger than a certain amount. And then we'll see some never before seen footage. Here we go. How many elements are greater than 10? So we're going to go right here to the end of our sequence. We're going to ask, is it just greater than? Just greater than 10. There we go right there. There's the end of it. We could count them, or what are we just going to wrap this whole thing here in? While I'm doing this, tell me what to wrap the whole thing right there in, and I'm going to go ahead and it looks like some people might add me out. Oh, should I added them on LinkedIn? Let's just do that real quick right here. And I'm also, oh no, I saw it. Who added me? Hey, everybody, I will add students on LinkedIn. More than happy to. We've got people added. And let's go back and let me pull up that video while people figure out this last little bit right here. And I'm going to show the never before seen video of test footage. Well, I mean, it's been seen because we sent it out as like a checks it out type thing. Oh, we didn't. Did we do it? We didn't do it live. So it's an unlisted video. I only have uploaded 100. I have more streams now than I have. This is going so old now. I'm in April. Man, it's just so crazy. So the first test of it, I'm back before January. My hair's really short again. First intro statistics. Oh, we're almost there. Wow, is it even before this? No, it can't be this early. No, where is it? We didn't live stream it. Did we not upload it to YouTube? I swear we did. Sorry, man, there's so many memories as I look through these videos. It's so... Project 3 grading. I have to be around the right thing. Well, it's not fun if I say, hey, I'm going to show you this cool never before seen video. Did we... Sample video. There's a sample video. That one was really bad. That's March 7th. And that's... Oh, here it is. Demonstration of technology, February 22nd. So it was the start of 2019. Okay, demonstration of technology. I found the video I'm looking for. This was our first real... There we go. That guy's got short hair. Look at that. Oh, is that Bscape? Oh, dude, Easyscape and Bscape. So good to see you guys here. Dude, we got some stuff to show you. So good to see you, Bscape. No audio. Oh, let me put on the computer to watch this. We'll get the system audio. But Bscape, oh, so good to see you. We're finishing up office hours. Thanks for swinging by. So good to just see you in the chat randomly like that. No, Speedrunner, Bscape, and Easy Escape, I think, are here. Check out some speedrunning. I bet Alan knows. Alan's our one of our Discord people. So here, I'll play the
stream deck right here, so we can actually just easily just change scenes. And we're back in.
We'll show some of the cool stuff here, Bscape, because we're about to head out. But
we have some great lower thirds and graphics developed by both.
This was the genesis of it, Bscape.
Campbell working on this with the technology.
Oh, dude, totally.
And so we're very excited for you to see this. We'll hop right back here to.
Hey, wait, I'll show you guys my setup real quick right here. So 2 seconds, so you guys can see. This one moment, I'll show you my setup. What we're working with. So here is, well, that's a great picture right there. That's what I do. Let's set my setup. Should just make it larger, but I've got the Stream Deck down here. There's a Stream Deck over here, and the Go XLR. We're gonna end with a video. What video should we end with? Anyone? Discord should sponsor. That's awesome. Thanks. No, it's a really good setup. That's what I'm using right now. I've got, trust me, I'm a doctor today, and I've got Starbucks. But no, appreciate the speedrun community and everything like that. So check out, like, you guys don't need shout outs from me, But check out Easy Escape and check out Bscape. Great stuff. And they even gave me some advice. I was in one of their streams on Twitch, and Easy Escape was like, "Yeah, dude." He was like, "Oh, I'm checking it out. It's cool stuff." And I was like, "Hey, thanks. I appreciate that." So, you know, we're having fun right here. Oh, we should do the Marvel. Do I have the Marvel? Should we chance it? Do I have the Marvel loaded up? Should we do Marvel? I might have to I don't know how to change things on the fly. What should we do as our outro? We got Rick and Morty. So we'll end class here because I'm gonna get ready for next class, or we'll end stream. The other things are unlisted Bscape, so I'll be streaming here again soon. But swing by anytime. I'm all about some Pokemon. People don't know. People are totally this chat at the end of stream, but this is the end is nigh right here in the background. So that's an end is nigh painting right there. So you can have a Pokeball that opens. 2 seconds. Of course, got a Pokeball right here. There we go. We got a Pokeball. But you know what we're going to do? I got an idea. Okay, I need you guys in the chat to tell me what you think of this. We got a new ending right here, a new opening. So here's the new opening for today. Tell me in the chat what you think as I end class. So I'll be in the chat still. But here's our new opening for today. I'm going to have to go back to the UT intro screen because it's set up to transition to it properly through that. So check out the new opening here coming up in just 1 second. So here we go. New opening coming right up.